Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Casual Caffeinated Conversations. I'm super excited because I'm joined today by Tara Adams. Hello, and thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing this morning?
Happy to be here and am super casual today.
Yes. And that's why it's called Casual Caffeinated Conversations.
Good.
Let's start, and it's going to be a really easy conversation, but we're going to start with questions and a game. So I'm going to say one word.
Okay.
Then you have to say one word back.
Okay.
The first word that comes to your mind. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Happiness.
Playing tennis.
Community.
Suffering. Sorry.
Friendships. No, that's friendship.
Women.
Life.
Up and down.
Mental.
Hyphenated.
Yes.
Hyphenated
Illness.
Mental illness. Clinically diagnosed by a doctor.
Mental wellness.
Fluid.
And connection.
Essential.
Yes, it is. It really is essential.
Mhm.
This next one is a one-word answer only. Why is mental health a hard, scary, uncomfortable topic to talk about?
Shame.
Yes. And why? Why is shame such a big thing around
Am
mental?
I allowed to have more than one word now?
Yes.
Well, even for those of us, you and I, that talk about mental health all the time, it's still hard. And it's a complicated web of reasons why, some of which are very individual, some of which are societal. So you take these complicated societal things all around you, plus any individual things you may have with you, your history, your culture, your journey, your mindset, your chemical balance, all of those things. And it just is harder. So here's what I think the most complicated thing is in the world of mental health, mental illness. On the one hand, we are pushing very, very hard that physical illness and mental illness are treated with the same respect, the same urgency, the same resources. Okay. But on the other hand, you can't treat physical illness and mental illness as exactly the same because it's totally different. So I have to walk this fine line of trying to teach people, treat them with the same respect, however, approach an individual differently.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the tricky, I feel like, trying to boil it down really quickly.
Yeah, it's tricky, and we still don't quite understand how to treat it because there's so much of it, and we're not even close to breaking the stigma or the shame or anything else around it. We're getting there maybe, but
I feel like we're getting there because the math is working out in our favor. So the mental health math of 1 in 5 a year, 1 in 2 per lifetime means that more and more of us have lived experience, if not you yourself, the people you love, live with, live next door to, and work with, right? And so now I think even for anyone with zero training, zero background, you may find yourself in a conversation with someone whose mental health is declining, and you will have a sense, right? You're not, I think if I look at 10 years ago, there really were people going, I have no idea what that might feel like. I really don't know anyone, sort of thing. I feel like now in 2022, the math is on our side. You know someone, whether it's you, the person you love, the person you live with, the person you work with. So folks are getting that lived experience, which breeds empathy, which breeds conversation. So I have some hope. I do. Even though it's complicated, I do have hope.
good. And we need the hope more than anything.
I
And
need
people
some
like
hope.
you to keep the conversation going, right?
Well, it's easy to talk to you, Krista. Everyone talks to you.
Okay, I have another question. This one will be good for you, actually. How can someone ask for help when they don't know how?
So the goal, the dream that we're keeping alive. We have a culture across the world, in our country, in our communities, in our families, where we not only offer help, but we seek help. And those are two different things.
Yeah.
Offering help, how do I do that well? Seek help, how do I do that well? What's the best way to seek help? You find the right person to talk to at the right time.
What if
Not
you don't
everyone has
know
to
that?
talk to
Like,
everyone.
but what if you don't know who to talk to when you have a mental health problem, right? Or a challenge, let's call it.
Yeah.
How can someone say, I need help? Like it's,
So there's the world of anonymous. Some people
Mhm.
would like to go anonymously and ask for help, and I appreciate that. It could be a health line, it could be a helpline, things like that. There's the world of clinical. Some people would like to start with family doctor, or I like to call it the PPP, the psychologist, psychiatrist, physician. That's fine. And some people want to start in their close circle of friends and family. So I don't want it to be a complicated answer, but the answer is all of that is fine. You as an individual find the right person at the right time. And the right person at the right time isn't necessarily the person who came and said, are you okay?
that's,
You're not obligated to say, no, I'm not, and I'm going to connect with you, spill my guts to you, and you're my person now.
yeah.
You need to find the person you feel comfortable with just to take one step. And again, it could be the anonymous channel, it could be the clinical channel, it could be the friends and family channel, and all of that's fine.
Yep. As long
All
as
of
you're
it's fine.
taking that step.
Take the step. I want people to know you need the right person at the right time for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you and I talk about this for 2 years now.
Yeah. If you could change the narrative, one line or word, what would you change?
I need one line.
One line.
Let's get more people, more help sooner.
Okay.
That's
Perfect.
it.
We need
That's
to
it.
do that. Yep.
Yeah.
How easy, right? And so
Easy to say, hard to
yeah,
do.
it is. My word for the year is action. What is your word for the year?
Oh my gosh. Personally, it has to be something about presence. I am human. I am a working parent. I'm living through pandemic like everyone else. So I find I'm sometimes in the past and I'm sometimes in the future, and I'm not always in the present.
And it's
Yeah,
really hard right now.
it is really hard right now.
It's hard to stay in the present with everything that's going on and that has gone on, and then
Mhm.
certainty around everything. It's just, it's
I don't want it to sound cheesy, like I'm trying to be more present, and I
no, I
literally am
totally
trying
get
to
it.
be more
Yeah.
present. I'm very serious about this. Like while I'm with my family or my dog, or I finally have a minute alone, what am I doing with that time? And am I worrying about the past? Am I worrying about the future? Or even in a positive way, looking at the past or the future?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm always negative about that. It just means I would like more of my energy to be in the present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us need to work on that, myself
Good. And
included.
come with me. Come with me. I'm working on it too.
That's why my word's action. We just need to
Yeah.
put action to everything we talk about instead of
Yep.
just talking about it. And that includes being present, right? And showing up.
Well, and I mean, I love the conversation that I have once, twice, 3 times a week. I'm very privileged. So I have group conversations around mental health, usually workplace mental health.
Yeah.
And when we get to the topic of self care, we have a very difficult conversation. And it isn't about what is self care, because we know.
Yep.
It isn't about what are the things that make me feel better, because we know.
Yeah.
It's about why aren't we doing it?
That's right. And
Yeah.
it's so funny. You talk to them, they're like, oh yeah, for sure I'm doing it. You're like,
Oh yeah. So what I like to do is we have this really hard conversation, and you have to make a safe space to have this conversation. And I say, so let's use you for example, and don't answer this if you don't want to, but what if I was able to interview 2 or 3 people that spend a lot of time with you, and that's work or home, it doesn't matter. And what if I asked them, what does Krista do to take care of themselves? What would they say? That is the question. And don't answer it because it's a tough question.
Yeah.
And so we have this conversation about what are you role modeling, self-care or self-neglect? Because I don't actually care what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
It's such a hard conversation. I care what you are doing. And the way we can figure out what you are doing, what you are role modeling is to think about what do people see me do? And so just like I'm a working parent during a pandemic, I also ask myself that question quite often, because if I asked, for instance, for me, the people I live with, I have 3 of them, what does Tara do to take care of herself? They might say, geez, I can't think of anything right now. That's not a good space for me to be in, right?
No.
So, well, I saw mom get on that Kijiji exercise bike one time. Oh, I think mom went for a walk with a friend. Oh, yeah, no, she played tennis one time, right? So think of it in those terms, right?
Yeah.
Like I still think at this point, you know what self-care is. You
Mhm.
know what self-care is for you. That's not the question. The question
Yeah.
is, why aren't you doing it? And self-care is part of our mental health,
Oh, it's
recovery for mental
huge.
illness, mental health. So sorry if I went on a tangent
Oh
there,
no,
but
that's
it's
good. It's
all part, like we were talking about action and being
yeah.
present, and it led me into thinking about self-care.
And that's super important. And the
Yeah.
conversation needs to keep going. And I'm so excited that the community has people like you because
Thank
you're out
you.
there keeping the conversation going every day, which is what more.
So much so that I go through about 50 halls a week. 50 halls a
Yeah.
week here. I'm talking about mental health and talking about suicide prevention all day, every day. That's what I'm
Yeah.
doing for you.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for the work you do and for joining me for this fun conversation. And let's keep the conversation alive. Have a great day.
Ciao.